Alright guys, time for me to do the comment for this video. I chose a comment from yesterday and it was Victor440 and I'll leave it below. Inspirational quote. I'm gonna say wise words. That man must know a little bit about building a car. So Victor, hit me up. I'll send you out a sticker pack, and thanks for the comment. Keep them rolling in, guys. I love reading them. It helps motivate me to keep making videos. A lot going on. I can't wait for the next video I'm going to show you guys, which was really yesterday. I'm a couple days behind. I'm trying to get caught up by putting one out every day, but I'm trying so hard to make it to No Coast. I got the truck going again, so we're trying to make it down there. But onto this video. Let's go. So this is a Taurus fan, which is really the only fan that works on anything ever. I don't care what anyone says, only Taurus fan.
Clutch fans work better.
What? So we had to find a way to make it work. Luckily we don't have to cut the front of the car off and move it like you do on an S chassis. Every time I've wanted a Taurus fan, I literally have to cut the front of the car off, rebuild it, just to get an extra inch. The Chaser has plenty of space. So Brody and Sam are making brackets to fit it on the coil radiator. And I think it's gonna work out really, really well. I've never had a problem with a Taurus fan cooling a car off. All right, so Wes has been missing his wrench for a couple days, and I told him I thought I had it over here by the 100, but it turns out that was Brody's. They both have the same wrench. It's a cool wrench. So we've been looking for it, and he was like really upset about his wrench, right? So we just found it over in Kelly's shop because Kelly was using it. Wes never asked Kelly if he had it, so we just put two and two together. But he's so upset about it, we're gonna play a trick on him. This is the classic old, you had it all along, Wes. And he doesn't watch my videos. He watches Hoonigan videos and Donut Garage videos. So he'll never even know that we did this because he doesn't watch my stuff. So in Wes's toolbox, we're gonna put it under his other wrenches where he looked 100 times. And then when he comes in and finds it on Monday, we'll be like, I don't know, Wes, you should have looked harder. And it'll be really funny and I'll film it and he'll never know. Ha!
I feel like you need HR.
It was Brody's idea. This is kind of a big moment, and I'll tell you why. This is the last bit of orange on this car. It's finally getting covered with paint. So one thing about door handles, like I love taking them off and getting every little spot in there because I don't want any overspray. I mean, not overspray. I don't want any like old color on there. So in order to get like full color change, you've got to be really detailed on this part. And I got the primer in there really good. I'll show you how I do it. I mean, you can see this is kind of nice. I can open the handle while I spray it. First thing I do, get all the spots like with the handle open. Go really light on the paint because I don't want runs. I'm even getting behind that, like up under there. If anyone ever does a color change on this car again, they're gonna absolutely hate me because they're gonna have to go to this level to get it. And up inside the handle, every little corner, and then even up under, like, you'll never ever see that, but you know what? It matters to me. And then once that's all, I'm satisfied with that, kind of, then I can close it. Get around all the edges first, so you see everything, and then I do my final coat. The part that you'll really see, and that's the attention to detail that I'm looking for on this car. Woo, glossy. Here's another example. You can see I fold the mirrors one way, and then I fold them the other way, and there's still a spot that needs to be sprayed. So I let them tack up enough where I can handle them, touch them, fold it the opposite way. I'm gonna spray that green, fold them back to center, and then finish the final coat of the whole mirror. Clear coat, I probably won't do this. I'll just spray the very outside, but at least you'll see green when the mirrors fold in. All right, so Jake came over to help do some wiring stuff. Jake is the wizard of all this stuff. He also helped me wire up the turn signals on Budget Build. I was like way in over my head, and he came and like figured it out and taught me how to do it, but of course I've already forgotten. So what we figured out, oh, he's got it apart again. The fuel pump relay is normally closed, right?
Yeah, because this has a variable speed fuel pump, so it runs at a slower speed when you're like cruising normally in the car, like originally designed. And then when you like mash on the gas, it eliminates a resistor and puts full 12 volts.
Ew.
The pump.
I don't like that.
So, being a chaser, we're having a hard time finding
Schematics in
wiring diagrams
English.
or anything that we can understand. But we did figure out that a wire from here goes back to the fuel pump. So we kind of modified it a little bit so that now this relay right here controls the fuel pump, which another wire from here goes underneath the dash to the ECU to turn the relay off.
So the EMU black will feed power through the stock harness to here. So we're keeping mostly factory wiring. What I realized is, like, really, if we could just take that pin and move it to that location,
Yeah.
then it would work, right?
Yeah.
But like, we can't obviously modify the plastic of the fuse box and move that over. And like, we could if it was actually serviceable, but there's like no hole back there, and it's just not ideal. So this is the next best solution, but it's all going to be under the hood. It's going to be under that panel, and I'll totally know that that's the fuel pump fuse or fuel pump relay. And so that worked out pretty well. The alternative was to like basically run new wires all the way up under there to there, and I'd rather have it up here. It's completely serviceable. It's still tucked. I like it.
Yeah.
Now we're onto the starter, and it's not clicking or anything, and so Jake's trying to. Jake's basically like figuring out what wire goes where because we don't have schematics, and so instead of being easy, it's a DIY. Figure it out yourself schematics. Our Identifix doesn't pull up a '96 Chaser.
Yeah, stupid Identifix. Okay, we have something there.
So now with the EMU black, it'll turn the fuel pump on with a key, and then once the starter's figured out, I don't have a starter signal wire, so I'll have to run it from there down to there, but I want it to work with the key, and I don't want to, like, we could easily cut the wire back there and like run a new signal, but I'd rather use the factory relay if we can, and like I said, as much factory wiring as possible would be ideal. Not quite ready to start it, but we're ready to put oil in it. And this is what keeps my engines alive. Oh yeah.
No funnel.
No funnel needed.
That stuff's thick.
Looks like I could go get on toast.
You could try it and tell me how it goes.
This is where if I was sponsored by Lucas, I'd be like, Lucas.
All my motors.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, I'm not sponsored by Lucas, but even if I were, I would still buy this stuff if I had to, because like, this is engine saver. That's the best advertising you can get. I'm a paying customer, and I will always use this stuff.
Quality.
You know, mainly because I saw it on Mav TV. Also, there's a tractor on there and a boat. Like, you know, if you can get
who doesn't like
keeps
tractors?
a tractor and a boat alive, like,
You're doing something right.
not a big difference between this and a tractor. All right, guys, I had a lot of problems, bad luck, bad stuff painting. I stopped painting today. I'm not going to show you that stuff because it's so embarrassing. I'm not a great painter. Either way, I got a ton of work to do still on the body panels to make them look good. I spent like literally 3 days working on body panels, and I've got almost nothing done. Really frustrated. I'm done talking about that. So we moved over to start the car. I really want to hear this thing run in this chassis, and I think Skylar built an exhaust for it.
Good quality.
Brody is on the key duty. Laptop over there is doing what laptops do, and I want to see if it runs. Had to do some janky wiring. I'm not even going to show you that stuff either, but just to hear it run, we got some jumper wires and stuff running through it. So let's see. Okay, key on. Ooh, that's a good noise. Got the power probe as a starter. This is one thing I know how to do. Hey! Pretty good. I think we need to go do a burnout now. Go great. So the engine runs, but the panels aren't painted. I don't know what's more important. Is that misfiring? Oh, I don't like that. The car runs. I'm stoked on that. Super stoked. Thank you guys for your help. These guys have been awesome helping me out. Brody's running away. This front door is really good. The back doors, not so good. I didn't use a lot of clear coat, but they have doorvers, so I don't care because I'm gonna make sure the outside, what you actually see, is gonna look really good. All the door handles over there are painted. The mirrors are painted. All the trims are painted. The rear wing is painted. The gas door is painted. The hood, wherever it is, where's the hood? Oh, the hood is absolutely terrible. I'm not gonna show you what's wrong with that. That door, we had a problem, a little like a fisheye spot, so I had to sand it, and then just problems, just nothing but problems. So tomorrow I've got to deal with those two. But I think what I'm gonna do is mainly focus on getting that door ready, get all that stuff cleared, bolt the doors on the car so I can actually drive it. I don't need the over fenders yet. I can work on that after this event I'm trying to get ready for. And then spend the rest of the day trying to get the car like running, everything wired so the power steering works, get the suspension dialed, basically get the wiring and stuff set up. I had the front fenders, even though they're not painted, I can bolt them on and then mount the headlights and make it look somewhat like a car. I just really want to take this on track on Monday. So hopefully everything works out. Going and doing stuff, car running. We started it and had a few issues right away. Like last night we started it, but with no exhaust. I built just enough of a downpipe to run it for a little bit. Wanted to check some stuff out. Immediately had some misfires. We actually heard it last night. I was like, we'll deal with that tomorrow. Well, it's tomorrow and we're dealing with the misfires. We found that cylinder 1 wasn't firing. I thought that was the only one. Turns out there was just a broken power wire to that, so we fixed that. Still misfiring. So it's actually misfiring on 2 cylinders. The other one was cylinder 6, and I thought, oh, it must be the same thing. Check for power, had power. Check for ground, signal, all that stuff was working. Checked the coil, it was sparking to a different spark plug. Pulled the spark plug, it looked okay. Then we put in a compression gauge and it showed 50 PSI. And I was like, that's not good. Then we did a leak down test and it showed perfect. So then I stopped trusting my compression gauge because it was a brand new gauge, and I was like, okay, maybe there's a problem there. Couldn't find the other gauge. Now that you're caught up, I didn't film you that stuff. What we've got going on now we're live. Like, that's all in the past. This is actually what's going on. We took a tester spark plug. This is the one that was in there before. We put a tester plug in there. We're about to start now and see if it was the plug. It is possible that it's an injector, but I checked for noise on the injector. So it's getting an injector signal. The coil's firing. We don't know for sure if that spark plug was firing, and we don't know for sure that the injector's firing. So could be those two things. So I'm gonna start it and see what happens. I found a new trick for starting the car without the starter. We got a bunch of power wires down here. Just touch it to one of them. Oh, need a battery. Jump box. Turn on. Oh, yeah, that's gonna be a problem too. Left the crank set. Thanks, Skylar.
You're welcome.
You got my back. We good?
Yeah, you're good.
I feel that injector firing. I think.
Do you have like a stethoscope? Like listen to it?
Maybe. What? What? I literally just lifted the coil off.
Oh, you think it's ramming on something? Ramming on something.
What? What is going on? All right, let's just leave it like that. don't know. I don't know why that's happening. What? You can't make this stuff up. Put a different coil in it?
Yeah.
All right, let's try that. Okay, we put the old plug back in. We put a different coil in cylinder 5, moved cylinder 5 coil to number 6. So we'll see what happens. Key on. Crank her up. Hey now. That makes a lot more sense. My Avanti coil, what is it called? Ashanti? Afari? Yeah, it's still good.
Affronti.
Yeah, good job, coil. Alright, sorry we doubted you. You, nameless coil, you're out of here. You're on backup. On the sidelines. What do you call that in baseball when they sit in the thing, the dugout? You're the pinch hitter. Alright, so it turns out the worst part of the wiring harness that I hate the most is actually the biggest problem. So I should probably go through and fix all those wires. But I gotta do a burnout, so a temporary fix and do a burnout. Alright, so we just spent way too long trying to get the clutch bled. The brakes actually bled out pretty good, but the clutch was a huge problem. It's a T56 Slave with a JZX Master and a dash 4 line. So I don't know if the line's too big, so it's easy for air to get trapped in there, or if something's wrong with the Master Slave combo, I don't know. But either way, what we ended up doing, Jake had the idea to push fluid from the bottom with the power bleeder. Where is it? Power bleeder. Usually you use the power bleeder to push like fluid from the top down. We didn't have the right fitting for that. So we just put a hose on it, slipped the hose over the end of the bleeder, which is a weird bleeder because it has a hex on the very end, so it doesn't seal very well, but this hose was able to flex and go on about that far. Then you just pushed fluid, pressurized fluid up through the bottom, and I grabbed a syringe, and as the fluid was coming up, I was pulling fluid out and just putting it into the brake master to keep this from overflowing on the new paint. And then at some point I saw a bunch of bubbles come out, and that's when I knew things were happening. And then at that point we were able to pump up the pedal a little bit, get a little bit of pressure, and then bleed it traditionally till it worked. Now it works well, and so that was a huge pain, but now we know how to do it when we have problems like that in the future. Right now Jake's trying to figure out the fan so we can run the fan. Car should run and drive right now, so I'm ready to go do a burnout, but we got to get at least the basics done on it. What were you asking me?
What?
Oh, were you talking to yourself? I thought you were asking
Yeah, I was
something.
just talking to myself.
Oh. Kelly got that welded in today. We got somewhat of a downpipe going. I want to be able to do the rest of the exhaust, but at least we got the wideband in place, and we got the dump tube, which is pretty complex. And we had an issue. Oh, I showed you guys the issue with coil 6. We ended up finding the ground for the coils that was down on the transmission had pulled out a little bit. So I think, pretty sure that was the issue. So we took it off. We recrimped a terminal end on it and grounded it to the block. So we're gonna start it in a second and see if that's actually fixed or if there's still something going on with coil number 6. This is a big moment. Car's on the ground running under its own power. Steering works. I'm gonna go drive it with no doors on it. so stoked right now. This is such a big moment for me. Even though like the car's not fully dressed, it's just like super cool. This thing has turned out way better than I thought, and we're not even close to being finished with it. But it is ready to be driven. Trunk's being held closed with a zip tie. Jake's trying to find the taillight fuse. The doors still aren't painted all the way. But yeah, stoked. Got the 20s on it. Gonna go do a burnout with, and I'll probably try and do a drift at the end of the street. It's gonna be sick. That's why I want lights on it. Big day, big day, big day, big moment. Stoked, so stoked. Okay, so Jake figured out that there's a taillight module that goes in this connector right here. No idea where it is, but we can bypass it. So he found out there's power coming in, and then one wire going to each rear taillight. So we still gotta figure out the brake lights, but just for now, I'm just gonna hook them all together. So we got something. Same car, just cooler. Sorry. I can just peel that sticker off and put it on this car. Donuts in a car with no doors. That's a first. Car feels really good. Handbrake seems to work. Yeah, I'm stoked. That was the first drive in this car officially, and it's like, it's got a few issues. It's not 100% done, but it's got enough power to do a burnout. I did some and some and it all works, and I'm really excited. Something's going on with the ECU. Like I think maybe the TPS is tripping out. I've had this issue before, and we knew it was kind of a known issue, but I'm not even worried about that right now. Just like happy the motor's working, because we thought maybe we had a dead cylinder 6, Like we had that compression issue earlier that turned out to be that my brand new compression gauge doesn't work properly.
Oh, really?
Yeah. But no, all in all, I'm super stoked. That's it for today's video. Tomorrow, I got a lot more going on. I don't know where we're gonna end up tomorrow. I might drive it tomorrow at the track, might not, but we've probably got like maybe 12 hours worth of work before the drift event. So, we'll see how it goes. See you guys tomorrow. Bye.